can't all be about highs. Life would be a lot easier, but sometimes you have to lose to win. I wish I'd gone a bit easier on myself. I was very, very impatient, trying to please everybody. But as you get a bit older, you'd like to think you get a little bit wiser. Life's been pretty good to me in terms of my career and my family. This is the happiest I've ever been. I actually have a lot of contentment in my life. That can go sometimes, but generally speaking, yeah, I'm pretty contented.
No shocks here this evening either, and Roy Keane will be a relieved man. Look, don't believe me, because here he is now. Hi, Roy, well done. Did you think you were out?
No. Listen, we've scored many late goals, so we always knew we were a chance. And you know, credit to my players, showed great character. And you know, when it scores 1-0, you always feel you still have a chance.
I was asking Nigel about that, the number of late goals you got. I think there were 7 in the 90th minute last year, worth what, 13 points, something like that. You know, is it more than coincidence?
Well, unfortunately, we've needed a lot of late goals. It'd be nice to try and win a game 2 or 3-0, but no, we gave a bad goal away. You know, I thought Forest were outstanding tonight. I have to say, great credit to them. But yeah, credit to my players, the fitness side of it, that desire to keep getting in the box, and obviously for Bardo to score. But in an ideal world, I'd like to try and win a game after 60 or 70 minutes. But we were struggling with 1 or 2 lads with injuries and cramp, particularly in extra time. So again, the players showed great character, and we've got that in abundance at the football club.
What about the Carling Cup this season, Roy? Is it more of a target last season, when maybe, you know, making sure you weren't in the bottom 3 was the big aim?
Possibly so, I have to say. Last year the priority was obviously to stay in the Premiership. This time last year we got beaten, I think, 3-0 at Luton. I used my squad rotation and it backfired. You know, we didn't make too many changes today. So yeah, we want to do a lot better in the Cups, I have to say. I think the squad is certainly stronger. But again, the priority will always be make sure we maintain our status in the Premiership and hopefully improve on our position last year. But listen, I think our fans have been desperate for any sort of success, so I think they'll be pleased tonight, even though generally I think our performance could have been a lot better.
How pleased are you generally, Roy, with the quality of play you've been able to bring in? And why is it different this season maybe to last season? Well,
it helped the fact that we obviously stayed in the Premiership last year, and again, I've had good backing this year. And you saw, you know, we've seen over the last few weeks, maybe not tonight, you know, the quality players we've attracted to the club, from, you know, obviously players like Malbronk from Tottenham, and I thought Chimbonda was outstanding tonight. And I've got the nucleus of the lads who've been with me for the last 1 or 2 years. We shouldn't forget about them. But what I'm trying to create, obviously, is competition for places, and Nigel would know you can't be that at your football club, and it makes my job a lot easier.
I mean, I just wonder as well, obviously people are watching to see Sunderland establish themselves as a Premier League side. Do you think that some players were watching to make sure that Roy Keane could establish himself as a Premier League manager as well? Possibly
so. Again, there'll be a number of reasons why players have been reluctant to come to us. Maybe it's the contracts we were offering last year. I think we've upped that a little bit this year. So we knew it was going to take time, as I said, and hopefully again maybe next year we can attract even better players. But you know, Rome wasn't built in a day, as they say, and we're making good progress at the football club. But we had a tough challenge tonight, and we've come through it, and we look forward to being in the next round.
And now, when you were playing together, did you provide more goals for him, or was he the provider for you?
Well, I'd done most of the running, but Nigel, to be fair, picked me up with it. No, I had great days here, playing with the likes of Nigel and Des and Stuart Pearce, and it's great to be back. It is a fantastic football club, and again, I thought Forest were outstanding tonight.
Cracking game, worthy of good, you know, worthy of League Cup, and a cracking cup tie.
I wouldn't say I enjoyed it that much, but it was.
You wouldn't have thought it was great to be back if you'd lost, would you?
Of course not. No, I'd be obviously be fuming, but no, it was a cracking game. And again, credit to Forest, because even when we were 2-1 up, they still played great football. They didn't launch it, and their manager deserved great credit for it, and their players. I have to say, I thought they were outstanding.
Fantastic. Well, Roy, congratulations. You've come back to your old stamping ground and gone away with a victory. Well done.
Thank you.
Cheers. Roy Keane, and my thanks this evening to Nigel Clough as well for coming along and joining us this evening. Thanks very much.
Michael Chopra's had a dismal time off the pitch. Marital problems, gambling, take your pick. It was his 2 late goals yesterday which sealed it, though. If Borough could take a penalty, it might all have been different.
And the Adair is past Northworthy and goes down. Penalty. It's Downing. And it's over the top! He's missed another! Richardson, Chopra, in on goal for Sunderland, and scores! Malbronk is the man over, Murphy's gone for goal, it's come to Malbronk anyway, and Chopra! The points are Sunderland's!
Next, it's the North East derby between Sunderland and Newcastle. It's 8 years since the Black Cats last won one of these local encounters. The match commentator at the Stadium of Light was Guy Mowbray.
On the day that the clocks go back, welcome back to a simpler time. Forget the off-field politics and power struggles. This is all about the game, the pride, the passion, and most importantly, the result. And what a game for Sunderland keeper Martin Fulham. Roy Keane is well aware of this fixture's history. Over 28 years since Sunderland beat Newcastle at home, and Keane says it's about time someone did something about it. Whitehead, now Dwight York. Chimbonda again getting forward down the right-hand side for Newcastle. Again, Chris Hughton's got something to say about that. Malbranque. Good 1-2 between Chimbonda and Malbranque. Steve Malbranque into the penalty area. And Djibril Cissé gives Sunderland the lead. Celebration of match. And it's a free kick on the very, very edge of the penalty area. Clear trip. And a good decision by the referee. It was outside. That's where the wall should be. Reluctantly, they're getting there. As last week at Fulham, Chimbonda's making a nuisance of himself in the opposition wall. Let's see what he does. It's Richardson! It's a rocket! Unstoppable! Sunderland have the edge again with a searing shot from Kieran Richardson. Passe given before he saw it. And this time Chimbonda stayed still in the wall. That's as excited as Roy Keane gets.
It's been a long time for our supporters to wait, and I'm surprised how long it has been. But these things happen in football, and it was nice to kind of put an end to that.
يشتتها سامبا عالية لكن يعيدها من جديد وايتهيد داخل منطقة الجزاء ويحاول سيسي الثاني من جبريل الثاني من جبريل خلاص خلص على الروبرز ومن جديد خطأ مشترك بين الدفاع والحارس. 2-1 لساندرلاند 2-1 من الفرنسي. أهدافه صارت خمسة وبكل تأكيد قلت أنه مهاجم يستحق الثناء لأنه يعني يهيئ كرات رائعة لزملائه لكن الآن تمكن طبعا من تسجيل هدف ولا بد أن يصافح.
It was some comeback in the second half after what wasn't a particularly good first half.
No, I think it was a poor half. The first half we were disappointing under a lot of pressure from Blackburn, particularly from corners, and to concede just on half time was a hammer blow for us. But at half time we questioned the players in terms of how badly do they want it, how badly do they want to get back in the game, the character, and they came out and again I thought we were outstanding in the second half.
Test of your abilities as a manager as well to say that at half time and get the response that you did in the second half.
Well, that's credit to the players, I have to say. I've been tested a lot over the last few weeks, and but no, that's a good reflection on the players, particularly the two lads up front. They're getting a new partnership together, and for both of them to score today, and they're a real handful and a real threat, and that was a big plus today for us.
You could never guess what the scoreline was from Roy Keane's posture. Your assessment of today's game?
Well, we were very much outclassed by a top football team, again, who were expected to win league titles and European Cups. So it was a hard day for us, but a lot of pluses for us in terms of my players kept going. With a young lad making his debut today, so it's all a part of the learning experience for our football club.
Having held them out for almost half an hour, could you have then foreseen the way it would go?
Well, it can't happen that way because I've seen it with other teams where you think you're doing okay, but the top teams just need one or two half chances, and before you know it, we went in a half time 3-0 down. Whether that was deserving or not, it doesn't really matter. We got punished for the one or two mistakes, and that's what the good teams do to you.
There was a strong suspicion of offside for their second goal and Elka's first. Did you see it that way?
Not really sure. I was more disappointed with the third goal. We felt there was a foul, before they scored just on half time, and really the third goal on half time was a big blow for us. But no problem with the decisions in terms of the offside. Sometimes you got to make your own luck. But all you ask when you come to the big clubs like Chelsea and United and Arsenal and Liverpool is a bit of fairness, and maybe we didn't get that today.
You didn't reappear in the dugout for the second half. What happened there?
No, I had a word. I asked the referee about one or two of his decisions at half time, and
he told me not to come to the dugout for the second half, so I had to sit up in the stand.
You didn't make many changes for the midweek game and said you regretted it. Do you think you made too many changes today? Do you regret that?
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think it's a case of my players or the system we played. I think it was as simple as getting outclassed by a top footballer team, and that happens, and there's no shame in that. And sometimes, as I said, you look at the players Chelsea have gotten, they're outstanding. And as I said, I've no problem with my players today. I have to say it's been a tough week. We now have a couple of days off, and it's important my players go away and relax and chill out and, you know, physically rest and mentally rest over the next few days, and we get ready for a big game next week.
It's been a strange week, hasn't it, in many ways, from the highs of last week to what's happened in the intervening 2 games?
Well, it's tough, 2 away games in the Premiership, particularly obviously midweek going to Stoke and today. So, as you said, we had the higher last weekend, we've got the low of the last few days, but that's football and that's life. It's how you respond to it, and I'm pretty sure my players will respond in a positive way for next weekend.
And just finally, presumably you've seen nothing today to change your prediction that Chelsea will be champions?
No.
Thanks a lot, Roy.
Okay.
Thank you. There's the final whistle, and it couldn't come soon enough for Sunderland. It's been a nightmare afternoon. It's Bolton's best win of the season. It's Sunderland 1, it's Bolton 4.
I guess in the circumstances, I suppose, having sort of slipped in the last few weeks, Roy, as he says himself, is his harshest critic. He just felt that he'd completed his journey here, you know, and he didn't want to get it unstuck any further and find ourselves in a deeper, darker territory. I mean, you know, that's the measure of the guy. You know, it's funny, in situations like this, I'm sure 9 times out of 10 the chairman is saying how the manager was trying to keep his job. It was the other way around here. We spent 3 days trying very hard to see if we could find a solution that way, but you know, when push came to shove and different things are thrown together, I suppose in the end it was such an amicable agreement that I guess we're comfortable with it. It's a tough one, and I suppose I'm never really that comfortable. I suppose that's probably a bit too bland a word to use. I think it's a disappointing day in many respects, but fully respect his decision. And of course, once he made the decision, you know, I just said to him, I know you too well, Roy, to try and overturn it now. Once he went over that line, and typical Roy, all he wanted to do then was make sure the staff that he brought here were looked after. You know, talking about the fans. He never once through all this spoke about himself or about a settlement or anything like that. I mean, it's just the class of the guy, you know.